Hey everyone, I'm Jacob Castro and welcome to another video here on Jacob's Aquarium. So today in this Planet Tank update we have a lot to discuss because there's been some big changes with my Planet Tank once again. But before we get into that, I want to let you guys know about a new project coming up here on Jacob's Aquarium, a new project video I guess I could say. It's one that I've been looking forward to for a very long time and I can't wait to show you guys, so I'd like to tell you more about that now. So as you guys know, I have a business. I sell aquatic plants on the internet. My website is jacobsaquarium.com. That's my online store. And you know that I use a 200-gallon pond here at my apartment. It's on my apartment balcony to store all my plants and grow my plants, keep my plants healthy. And you guys know that I built that because I pretty much outgrew my two previous aquariums, my two tanks. I was actually using this tank and a 50-gallon tank to hold my plants. You guys know that I outgrew that and I needed more space, so that's why I built the pond. But it seems like I've actually outgrown the pond as well. So I decided to build an even bigger pond, and since that bigger pond could not fit upstairs here in my apartment, I decided to move my entire business to a totally separate area outside of my home, which is so much better because there's so much more space, in this new place where the new, I'm calling it mega pond is. So I don't want to talk too much about it because I kind of want it to be a surprise, even though I kind of told you guys pretty much, mostly what it's about. But I just wanted to mention it to you guys and let you guys know that you can expect a video all about that coming up in the very near future in about 2 weeks. It's going to be a very exciting video. It's one that I've been looking forward to filming for a very long time. And also this is a project I've been looking forward to doing for a very long time. So I'm super excited, and I hope you guys will look forward to that and come back to Jacob's Aquarium to check out that video in about 2 weeks. Alright, so let's talk about the changes that I've made to my Planet Tank, and also let's talk about some of the problems I'm having with my Planet Tank, because yes, I am having problems. As you guys know, I had silica sand and a rock barrier separating that from the EcoComplete substrate in my tank. And I did that because I wanted to use two substrates. I thought it would look cool. I thought it would kind of bring a more natural feel to the tank. And as time has gone on, or gone by, I guess I should say, I've noticed that the natural feel that I thought the sand would give isn't really happening. It's not really doing it for me. And on top of that, since the tank is having a little bit of an algae problem right now, algae is growing, or was growing, on the sand. And I guess because I'm also dosing or injecting CO2, the algae would form bubbles on it. Pretty much I think that's oxygen. I think it's oxygen, and those bubbles would, for some reason, have sand attached to them when they would float up to the surface of my aquarium, and when they would pop, they would release little sand particles all over the place, and the plants in the tank were getting covered with sand, as well as the moss on the driftwood here. So I thought that was incredibly unusual to begin with. I never have experienced that before, but it was making a mess of the tank. So combined with the natural feeling just not happening for me, as I thought it would, using the sand and EcoComplete, or using two different substrates, and having that issue as well, I figured, it'd just be a good idea just to get rid of the sand. So I siphoned out all the sand with a little, tube. It was pretty easy. And I also took out the rocks because the rocks were actually really, really attracting algae as well. I mean, I think that happens in most aquariums, but I mean, there was a lot of algae growing on the rocks and it didn't look too attractive in my opinion. It was really bugging me, so I decided to take out the rocks as well and just fill the whole tank with EcoComplete and let the pearlweed carpet out the entire bottom. I thought I figured that would pretty much, it would make the tank look exactly how I'm envisioning the final product in my mind, like a forest tank with trees and, plants growing at the bottom, So yeah, that's what I did, and it's another big change. I know you guys are probably thinking I'm crazy, OCD. because I'm making such big changes to my tank. You know, removing all the plants first, and then now taking out substrate and stuff. But you know what? You know, I'm just the kind of person that I'm really honestly I'm never satisfied, and until I feel satisfied, I do whatever I can to get that feeling. I guess you could say. So I am satisfied now, and I think that you know, uh, the tank looks great like it does now. It's finally. I think this is where I'm gonna leave it, and I say I think because I say I'm gonna leave it this way so many times about so many things that I end up changing them. So I'm just gonna say I think this is where it will stay. But yeah, it's much better now that the sand is out because it's not making a mess of the tank anymore. You know, like I said, with the sand attaching to those bubbles and popping and sand going everywhere. And you know, it makes maintaining the tank a lot easier too because when the sand was in there, I had to siphon it all the time in order to keep it clean and or in order for it to look nice as well. And you know, within 2-3 days, it would be covered with algae again, and the sand would be it turned more of like a brown greenish color instead of its normal white color. So. Yeah, the sand just was not working. So I'm glad it's gone. I'm glad you know it's out of there. And now maintaining the tank is a lot easier because I don't have any substrate to siphon or clean or anything. It's just I just leave it like that, you know, do water changes, clean the glass, maybe trim the plants, and that's pretty much it. And of course, you know, take care of the filter. So it's much easier just not having to worry about cleaning substrate. I just hate that fact, you know, period. It's just so much easier this way. So that is the big change to my Planet tank. And now let's talk about some of the problems I'm having with my Planet tank. So as you guys know from my previous video, I was having an issue with blue-green algae, and I used a product to get rid of that, and you know that algae was gone. And I shouldn't actually say that it's algae. It's actually a type of bacteria. I think they call it cyanobacteria, but it's commonly referred to as blue-green algae. But anyways, I was having a problem with that, and I used a product to get rid of that, and it got rid of it successfully. And the tank was perfectly fine for, you know, I would say about 3 or 4 weeks. And now it seems like for some reason I haven't added anything to the tank. I haven't done anything different. Brown hair algae has decided to start growing as well. So now I am battling that. And let me tell you, I have dealt with this stuff before, and it is by far the most annoying algae I could pretty much say. I mean, I think blackbeard algae is also pretty much high up there as far as the most annoying algae because it is so hard. It is so hard to get off of stuff. But brown hair algae is like it's like right next to that. It's one of the most irritating algae because it grows so quickly, it grows so long, and it could really take over a tank in I would say as little as you know 6 or 7 days. So I'm currently battling that. I'm doing my best to manually remove as much as possible. And I've kind of backed off on the amount of fertilizers I'm dosing as well, because of course that's just gonna add more nutrients into the tank and feed that nuisance algae. So now pretty much what I'm doing is I'm just waiting for the pearlweed to grow a little bit bigger because you know as the pearlweed grows and it takes over the tank, it's going to consume a lot of the excess nutrients. The nutrients that the brown hair algae is feeding off of to survive, and then it will not be able to, its food source will be gone eventually, and it won't grow. So I'm just waiting for you know the pearlweed to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's a fast growing plant, so I shouldn't have to worry about that. It's actually you know the little you know portion that I planted about a week and a half ago has actually tripled in size. So it's a very fast growing plant. I mean, especially considering, you know, I dose nutrients, well, not so much now, but I was dosing nutrients and I use CO2 and everything. And I obviously have good lighting as well from my fantastic Kessel LEDs. So all that combined just makes pearlweed explode. So that's pretty much the only problem I'm having with the tank right now. Besides that, everything else is great. Fish are happy, fish are healthy. Water parameters are all in check. And you know, it's just algae. It's pretty much, I think, the only issue most people have with planted tanks, you know, after a while is just algae. Algae is like just the biggest, you know, biggest buzzkill when it comes to owning a planted tank. And it can be very frustrating because it just seems like it just never goes away no matter what you do. But just let me tell you guys, okay, don't give up, okay? Just do not give up. I've seen so many people, you know, get into this hobby, spend a whole bunch of money on a beautiful planted tank, and you know, as soon as they got algae, they gave up. You know, trust me, I know how frustrating algae is, and I know it seems like it just keeps growing and growing and growing, and will never go away. But I've learned just to be patient, you know, and that's really what you got to do. If you have plenty of plants in your aquarium and your plants are growing at a good, you know, rate, they're healthy, they're happy. Your plants will get to a certain point where they're consuming a lot of nutrients, and the algae growth that you'll have in your tank will be minimal, if not non-existent. You know, so you just have to have patience. You just have to just let your tank mature. As I said before in my previous videos, that's what I'm waiting, you know, for my tank to do, is just plants to grow, like I said. So just don't give up, guys. I just wanted to say that because so many people give up in this hobby, or give up this hobby because of algae. And algae should not be something that you know, should be the ultimate deciding factor of whether you continue your planted tank or not. Because yes, it's annoying, but yes, you can fight it, and yes, it will go away eventually. You just have to give your tank time. And like I said, if you have plenty of plants, that's all you need. You just need your plants to grow, because plants consume nutrients, and that's the stuff that algae feeds off of. And if there's none of that in there, you know, because the plants are consuming it, then algae cannot grow, you know. Of course, there's other things that you got to look at, you know, in regards to why algae is growing in your tank. I'm not going to get into those things because there are so many different things to talk about, and this video would drag on for like 3 hours, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, you know, just one of the biggest, most important things is just having enough plants in your tank to consume enough nutrients, and you know, just waiting for them to grow out and get bigger and consume a lot of nutrients in your tank. So that's the only problem I'm having with the tank. Other than that, I'm really happy with the tank, even though it does have a lot of algae growing in it. That's really unattractive. I still enjoy looking at my fish and you know, watching my plants grow. So you know, I think, you know, for the time being, besides adding the shrimp and maybe some more fish, I'm considering buying some more fish as well. I really won't be making any further changes to my tank. And I said, I'm going to say it again, I think. Because like I said earlier, I change my mind so often about stuff. But I think this is pretty much where things are going to stay. So for my next Planet Tank update video, it will be, I'm going to say it'll be a little bit before I make another Planet Tank update, because there won't be much to talk about, let's say a week from now, you know. So it'll be a little bit, you know. It won't be like a month, but it'll be maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this Planet Tank update. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to check out my website, jacobsaquarium.com, if you're in the market for aquarium plants. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I was thinking about saying MySpace. Nobody uses MySpace anymore, right? Right. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Have fun with your tanks, and I will see you next time.